no alternative but to bring it down, and that's supported by the significant number of residents that responded so far. Yeah, that will continue as part of the consultation process, which is good to hear. There were some bits in there that I was sort of, actually these are some really good aspects and really good parts. There's some there that you sort of look at and say, actually, is that not so much factually correct, but what's the impact of such a wide statement on that? So it was decided to get a little bit more detail where it's needed, and make sure that clarity was put where there was more detail, so people understood it didn't mean one thing, although it read ambiguously, is what I was aiming for. So there we will be sharing some of this in advance, so I will cut some of this out. So the 3 existing tower blocks there consists of 168 homes, 155 council rent, 13 leaseholders. Obviously we're working with the leaseholders when it gets to that point to make sure they've got market value for the property. And he will be recommending to Cabinet that all 3 blocks will be demolished and replaced with a new scheme comprising up to 240 units, so more on a better laid out footprint. These will be apartment-led properties, but what was interesting to see was there will be a portion of those also be houses. So it's not just all about throwing up medium rise in space of high rises or high rises in space of high rises. It is about looking at different provision for different types of household. That scheme itself will represent 72.325 million investment into renewing the housing stock, and that's the bit the HRA get for the council. He's also reopening the plans that were put forward to me, and indeed to Councillor Johnson, about Grays Riverside estates and Tilbury estates, to see what we can do there. Anyone, and I do have family, so I'll be really clear on those in this. I do have family that live in the tower blocks in Tilbury. They've got nice properties. They're slightly bigger than the ones I've seen in Grays or in Blackshots. And some of them are nice, but equally some of them that I've seen are really suffering from the effect of damp mould and I would say lack of investment. We put a lot of money into these flats, but just things that we just wouldn't be able to turn back time and make sure it didn't happen when it was constructed. And it's the same with the blocks near here. So it's not just about Tier 1 development, putting solely HRA owned properties in place on that site. Which we can use for either decant, as mentioned a couple of weeks ago, or for